This is a Tape Deck podcast.
Hello and welcome back to We'll Run For. This is your host Tom, and with me as always are Aaron.
Hello.
Michael.
Hello.
And Diana.
Hi.
I hear immediate squeaking and immediate whining the second we hit
It's
record.
amazing.
They know.
Well, Indy's been in a mood literally all day. Like when we started recording, I was like, he's been bad all day.
I'm
So
just going to put it out there. Somehow these animals, like running rampant right when we're recording, is somehow Greg from Rise and Run's fault.
He somehow caused this.
I think
he's got
so.
voodoo
Trolling
dogs.
Voodoo
Voodoo
my
dogs. Yeah,
God.
voodoo pets.
Voodoo dogs.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that can't be as bad as last time, though, can it?
Well, let's see. It's early. It's early. We just
Let's
started.
find out.
Well, before we get into anything, show announcement. So we have obviously we didn't have an episode last week. We're probably going to be doing like 3 episodes a month. 2
Yeah.
recorded and then two recorded and a runner studio.
Yeah, a runner studio or
Slash
maybe
whatever.
like a on the streets or
I mean,
Yeah.
we'll see. The even saying, I want to say lightly, we'll drop 3 things
Yeah,
through
there you go.
the month.
Yeah.
It might be 2 runner studios. It might be 1 episode. It might be 2 episodes. It might be 1 runner studio, 1 on the street. We've been,
Our schedules have
listen,
been
we
crazy.
we talked about this. We started in the pandemic. There was nothing in the entire world to do. So this is what we were doing. The world is back to somewhat a normal schedule of life. Diana and Tom have running groups in the evening. Michael's running 8 bajillion miles every single week right now for training.
Indiana Bones is failing at a dog school.
Is failing out
He's not
of dog
smart.
school.
He's definitely not head of the class.
There's just a lot going on between, running and then actual
Weekends
like
and
life and
travel
all that.
yeah.
And we're traveling a lot more. So just finding kind of time to record has been a little bit more challenging than we expected over the last few months. And so we would like to try and keep 3 new things coming out to you each month, but there's no guarantee.
We just don't want to create stress in our lives.
Yeah, it'll be a variety of we're going to try and keep the fresh episodes every 2 weeks. But we may have to rearrange a
They may
little.
just
You might
shuffle
end
around,
up getting 2 runner studios in a month and only 1 episode, but we'll make it work. We're not going anywhere completely.
No, and when it gets to be winter again and Michael and I go back into hibernation,
Yes,
you make
well,
it
plenty of
more
time.
episodes. Because we'll be refusing to go outside
Yeah.
like we do.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Once it gets cold, we'll have plenty of time. It won't really matter. It'll be dark at 2:00 in the afternoon.
God.
Everybody will be
Here
sick
we
of
go.
everything.
Yeah, and then So Michael and I have emerged from our cave and now are ready to enjoy life. So
We can record 3 times a month about how we hate how dark it is.
Yes.
Every single month.
Oh my God. you
For
guys
all
are
of December,
ridiculous.
January,
It's
and
fine.
February. Oh,
You guys are
it's
ridiculous.
the truth. It's- oh gosh.
All right.
So that was I guess we might as well do virtually live off the top.
yeah.
before we
Yeah.
get anything else.
Sure. I revealed the big metal medallion, the wooden medallion today.
It looks
came out
so
really
good.
good.
By the
Yeah.
time you hear this episode, it will be April 17th, and you will have exactly 12 more days to sign up for this race. Cutoff is on April 28th so that we can begin mailing your stuff on the 29th and 30th. We can package everything and have it be ready for you guys. Hopefully out to you the first week of May, so that you are all getting your stuff before we actually do the virtually live race.
So we have, as of this recording, which is a week before you hear it, 20 spots left. Right?
Yes.
And we're 5 away from 100.
Yes.
Yep.
I'll be honest. I didn't think we were going to get there, but we've been creeping. And I think the medal reveal really did help.
Yeah.
I think that generally that's sort of what happened last year.
Yeah.
Beginning, you're super heavy, like everyone's super excited. And then at the end, you get all the like, oh, crap, people who forgot to sign up.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
how are we looking hat-wise?
Oh, I did look. We have 18 of the running hats left and a lot more of the trucker hats.
Okay. So it's
Team
almost
running hat.
Yeah. Well, I'm just
winning.
saying for people who want to sign up.
Oh, yeah, that's right. If everyone all 20 people were to choose the running hat,
then they
we
wouldn't
would.
be able to.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to.
Okay. So there's 18 running hats left.
As of this recording, which might be old by the time you hear this.
Yeah, we'll update it that day, but plenty of truckers.
Sure, we will.
It's not an issue. No, I mean, I'm not updating the recording. I just mean like on Instagram, not like editing this that morning.
Blow it up on social.
Diana and I will be at Springtime Surprise this week.
Yep.
Look for us there. I'll be out on... it won't matter by the time you hear this, actually, because now that I'm thinking about it, it's too late. You will not be able to have found us because Springtime Surprise will be over.
Well, we hope you guys had fun.
I do have
that was a great time.
my runner hat packed, so I might be rocking it and see.
You know what I realized
Show it off a little bit.
That my hair turns everything pink, and the running hat was no exception.
Yeah.
So now I can only wear black hats, apparently.
That's a good point. I didn't even think of that.
But yeah, hopefully we will have met up with you and seen you and recorded some audio with you guys, because I will have the recorder. So we'll be on the street, on the ground. Is that what it's called? On the ground with Snarky Snacker.
Is it going to just be a bunch of you guys running up to strangers screaming questions at them? Because that's what I want.
Like,
yeah, that would be
that's
good.
that's like Melissa's dream job right there. She asked if she's allowed to do that with the recorder.
You got to give her a hat.
Are we allowed to assign her to do that?
You have to give her something to identify herself.
Okay.
So
if Melissa ran up to you, if some random redhead woman ran up to you and started yelling at you, you'll know it was Melissa when you hear this.
And if
she'll have already done it by then.
And if you were offended, she's from the Rise and Run podcast.
Yes. Email Greg. He takes all complaints.
Isn't it
over there.
Greg at bigballs at gmail.com?
gmail.com or something. Yeah. I forget what that was. Yeah.
I'm just saying our beef has quieted down in the weeks that preceded this. So
well, we should be seeing him soon.
All right, Broad Street.
Broad Street.
Another show note there. Actually, I should probably make an event for it. We are doing a joint Rise and Run meetup at the expo. Greg cannot be there until around 4 p.m. that day. So between 4 and 5 p.m., we'll be roaming around the expo floor. I don't know that we have a specific location. I guess I'm going to have to find that out for sure.
I don't know.
Be sure to check out our social media and Rise and Run social media for the exact location where you can find us.
Once we know what the layout is.
And then whoever wants to join us, we're going to saunter over to Reading Terminal.
Yeah.
And maybe have a cheesesteak, maybe have some Dinnick's roast pork sandwiches.
A little broccoli rab.
Shorter.
Maybe some cannolis.
Maybe a couple Yinglings over some bodies.
Some gabagoo. Wait, that's the wrong city.
Oh,
no, it's there too.
Yeah. So
we can walk down to the Independence Beer Garden after.
Yeah.
Or something like that. Whatever.
There's a few beer places right there.
Glory
There's
Beer Bar.
Victories over there.
Victory.
Wait, do we have any other show announcements?
Broad Street meetup. I think that's the next thing, really, right? Virtually live, obviously, the week after Broad Street, correct?
No,
Wrong?
2 weeks after Broad Street.
2 weeks after?
Yeah,
oh, that's
Mother's
right,
Day
because
weekend.
Broad
Street-
Street. I'm sorry, I forgot. Broad Street was in
Street's so
April this year.
Yeah, Broad Street's on the 30th. So
yeah, that's right. Sorry about
there's
that.
an extra weekend in there.
2 weeks after Broad Street is virtually live. We will be running at Cooper River Park, most likely. So if anybody wants to join us that morning at Cooper River Park, we will be doing one loop around.
Anywho, Michael, do we have any new 5-star reviews?
Not this week. We had a couple last week, obviously, but we did not this week. Hopefully you will still give us 5-star reviews after we reduce the number of episodes. Or perhaps that will give you the impetus to give us a 5-star review to keep us from doing more. So if that is your choice.
Yeah, and as always, I mean, like it, share it, tell your friends about it. But
That's really all that matters.
Those are the best compliments we
much
could ever
more.
get.
That's better. Yeah.
What are we running for this week?
Well, like Aaron mentioned at the top of the show, we are doing Springtime Surprise. I am undertrained for the first time in, I don't know, over a year because I was trained for every single race last year.
That's true.
So I'm feeling definitely undertrained. I only did up to 6 miles. I wanted to get up to 8. I did not do that. So we'll see how it goes. I also was not running much, but the last couple of weeks I have been doing weekday runs, but no really back to back. So I am slightly concerned about how my body is going to react because after we ran and then did that hike on Monday, I felt like I was going to die. Like I was walking around like I had done like 30 miles over the weekend on that Monday.
Oh my God.
All right, so we went on a hike with Baltimore Hun and Jeremy, Melanie and Jeremy, but
it was only 3 miles. I'm acting like we were out there for miles. No, it was 3
it was
miles.
hilly, but you had the dog hooked to your waist.
Yeah, that's
and he
true.
was pulling you up and down hill.
That's true.
It's true.
So like you had to constantly be on balance.
Yeah.
Because he would just take you downhill or uphill or off to the side.
Yeah,
so it
he was
wasn't
all
like
over the place.
yeah. Like Indy would kind of have his own thing going on. So I mean that's a lot of an extra workout on that hike.
That's true. I earned those cookies she brought us.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, they're so good.
Oh my God. What's the name of her bakery again? I forget.
Sugar and
How could I
salt.
forget?
Sugar and salt.
Also,
God.
here's a real story. So Tom and I, so what I should be running for is actually those cookies because we had a cookie on the way home and then we had like leftover Chinese food for dinner that night. And we were so full after that. I looked at Tom and I said, I really want a cookie, but I'm so full. The cookie, it's not going to be worth having the cookie if I'm this full. And Tom and I are both like, the cookie deserves better. We can't eat it when we're full. So we had to wait until the next day to have a cookie.
They're so good.
We were like, it's going to make the cookie deserves better. And it did.
Oh my God, so good.
Oh, it's amazing. Oh my gosh. Salt and Sugar
Bakehouse.
Right,
Swear to God.
yes.
You can find her on Instagram. We're apparently now sponsoring Salt and Sugar Bakery. She also gave me a sourdough starter that I may have already killed. Who knows? Because who knows what I'm doing with live yeast. His name is Fred.
Fred Yeast?
I've named him.
George
Well,
Glass?
hers is named Larry. Hers is Lawrence Larry. And baby Larry was born from Larry and then got renamed Fred or Alfred. And he's now Freddie.
There's a lot to unpack there.
I have a sourdough starter. That's all that matters.
It's a thing.
Oh my God.
We kind of went around the long
The long way to say, literally the best cookie I've ever had.
amazing.
Like
cookie.
I
Oh my
bit
God.
into that cookie and I was like, you don't need to eat anything else.
Which on a show note, the reason why we went to a hiking with Melanie and Jeremy was because Michael decided not to run his race that at some point we were supposed to recap, but This is your recap. He didn't do it.
I didn't do it for multiple reasons we'll get into later.
Yep. Sorry,
Okay.
that was a tangent
That's
on
a
my
really
behalf.
long
Well, look,
I
the
forgot.
cookies.
apologize.
It's the cookies.
So once the cookies get talked about,
We had 2 tonight. They were amazing.
You still have them left? No, the cookies is
We have
are
one
better.
more to
we've been eating half set because we're like making them last because I can't just
No,
They
you
were-
got to eat them
once they're
fresh.
gone, they're gone.
They were not.
Tomorrow's the last one.
I tell you,
Once they're gone, they're gone.
once she handed us that bag, the clock started.
I did very specifically the moment they were handed to me. I was like, these are going in our secret hiding spot because
Yeah.
Connor is not getting these.
That's
Mhm.
yeah. Well, he would have eaten the whole bag.
So Connor got 0.
like in one night.
Yeah, ours lasted till Friday, I think.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Honestly, we didn't. There was a couple days where we didn't eat one, which
That's
was
true.
where
Weird.
we ended
Yeah.
up. I know because it would get
It's
late.
like me.
or
It's
I
like
would-
us on Sunday.
I know.
We were too full to have the cookie, and it didn't.
Yeah, that was part of it too. Like Saturday, we went out to
Oh, we
dinner
went. Yeah, we
for
had
what I'm
dinner.
running for at Morimoto, and then when we got home, you can't eat a cookie after eating. Like we went for a birthday dinner for Connor, and we ate our weight in Japanese food.
Yes,
And it was delicious.
amazing. Yes,
And that is what I'm running for. Bringing it full circle.
Look.
Morimoto Philly.
I'm running. What did I write? Like to steadily increase my walking miles.
Mhm.
We'll get into the training
We'll walk
updates.
for.
But I will walk for the Great Saunter on May 6th. So walking is so boring. And I was
Walking
following
is so
along with
boring.
Donna, Donna Q, Run O'Donna, who's also doing the Great Saunter.
Yes,
And so
Yep.
she walked like 4 hours around the Disney properties.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
with my
Oh,
friend Steph.
Yeah.
That's why she was walking around the.
Steph
Okay,
is
That makes
Steph
sense.
Sorensen, who did the doodle of me and Nikki at. She was on the ground episode at Princess Weekend when she was doodling me.
You, however, just walked around the airport.
I just walked around the airport. It's a.
I mean, that picture with the airplane was cool.
yeah.
That's like 5 seconds.
I mean,
of
I
the
don't know
picture.
that.
They must-
I don't know. I don't know that it's as cool as walking around Disney, but
I
you know.
Well, yeah. So that's what I'm running for this week. Just continuing that behavior, getting as many walks in.
That's it.
Yeah. Not doing anything stupid like not body gliding or But
Oh.
yeah. So that's me. Michael, what about you?
I am running for the end of everything.
Oh God.
Oh, the end of times?
Yes,
Nice.
Been watching a lot of Doctor Who, so we're at the end of time.
Hmm.
Yeah, no, I'm at the end of training. I had to cut it a little shorter than I wanted, which we'll get into. But yeah, I'm just walking to the end here for the next week or so, just very lightly, very casually.
Well, you had some shin issues, right?
Yeah, we were going to get into that in training.
Oh,
you for
my bad.
Wait for spoiling the show.
I'm sorry.
Spoilers, everybody!
alert.
Don't even listen to the episode now because you're already spoiled on what's going to happen.
Hey,
My
5
bad.
minutes.
would you say that not making a bigger deal out of something than it should be is a goal of yours?
And now, it's time for our Will Run 4 Goal Getters. Congrats on making your goals, you getters. Oh, you runs the shit.
All right, we've got Craig, who I'm not even going to try and say your last name, Craig, because it
Please
is a
don't
well-known
butcher it, yes.
fact that we tear people's names apart. So, Craig, one day when I meet you, you'll have to tell me how to say your last name.
Who knows? You
or-
might have already met him.
Or if you're on an
True.
Inside the Runner
Fair
studio, you could let us know how to say it next
That's
time.
true too.
His goal is to survive Springtime Surprise Weekend.
Oh, me too.
It's mine and Diana's
Good goals.
goals
Yikes.
as well.
Good goal.
Oy. Laura Duxon, next My next goal after having a baby was running a half marathon in sub 2:30 again. I have my race on the calendar for April 16th. I did a marathon training last month run and didn't want to do it at an easy pace, but I didn't want to push hard either. I finished it in 2 hours, 29 minutes and 44 seconds.
That's awesome.
Wow. I had done a 15 plus mile training run, so I think I'm ready to officially crush my goal next Sunday.
Yeah.
Get it.
Sounds
Welcome
like
back,
it.
Laura.
Yes.
Yep.
Beach Runner 78, Megan, goal, get off the lazy train and get back to working out consistently. Haven't run since Donna in February.
You know what would be a good idea for her?
What?
To train for a marathon. I mean, I hear that gives you something to shoot for.
Oh, is
Think
that
about
right?
that, Megan.
Got it. It's not like you've committed to not doing that.
For the rest of your life. Chiquita is training for a 100-miler.
Yes.
And had to run 50 miles in 3 days this past weekend. She did it, and she can't believe it.
Yes.
Woo!
Go get it.
I've been
Great
following
job.
along with her. We're both on that journey.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a lot of miles.
Ugh. Meg says her goal is to run a half marathon every month this year. She's 3 down and 9 to go.
Wow.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Run Disnerd. Goal, head up north and chase that unicorn.
When this episode
When this
comes
album
out,
drops.
when this album drops, wait for the drop. Ron Disner definitely listens to dubstep, anyways. But when this episode drops, it will be
Marathon Monday.
For the
Yes,
Boston Marathon.
It will.
Yep.
So, wishing good luck to Karate, to Run Disnerd. Who else do we know who's running it?
I'm sure I know a bunch
I
of
think
people
there's a few
that
people.
like my
I'm
brain.
sorry if I'm forgetting your name, but especially those two because
We'll be drinking
Robert?
from the pool and watching on our phones.
Maybe I don't know. I know some people who are trying to go for a BQ.
Yeah. But anybody
Um,
running, good luck to
I
you.
know Bob from Old Team Shenanigans is running. I don't know. I know a bunch of people
right.
probably. But anyway, EcoFit says she is still going strong on the 10K plus steps per day every day. Haven't missed a day yet.
Oh, that's
Yes.
awesome.
I will
She's
say
been going
Wow.
since the beginning of the year.
that
right?
is very difficult.
Yeah,
To not miss a
it
day.
is.
Mhm.
It is.
Yeah.
It's really hard. C. Larson says, I took 3.5 minutes off my 10K PR this past weekend.
Whoop, whoop.
Were you chasing Wendy?
Yeah.
She was-
That's awesome.
No,
though.
but that's really great. 3.5
3.5
minutes.
on
That's
a 10K.
pretty,
Yeah, pretty good.
All right. Bria,
It's Bria.
forever gonna be wrong.
We officially
Did you-
know it now.
Did you know that her mother says it one way and she says it the other way?
What?
She told me this story.
Oh, that's
She's
funny.
going to be on an upcoming Inside the Runner studio, and she's going to school us on the correct way to pronounce her name.
I appreciate that. Does she have a Mayor of Easttown accent?
I don't know.
I
We'll
hope
find
so.
out when.
Oh my gosh.
There's a hoagie on the body.
Here's a Yingling.
Despite taking 3 months off post dopey,
2
I'm
months
feeling.
off.
Oh, sorry. Despite taking 2 months off post dopey, I'm feeling like I'm heading into Broad Street in the best shape I've ever gone into that race.
Whoop.
The bar for Broad Street Run Fitness is pretty low for me. I'm being cautiously optimistic about a pretty significant PR this year.
Awesome.
That's
Hopefully
awesome.
the weather is good for you. Yeah.
We hope we'll see you out there. Rachel likes to run, says she's sticking with my training plan in the past few weeks for Broad Street. Rachel, we hope we'll see you out there as well.
Yep.
Melissa runs on pixie dust. Made my own 25K to see how my body felt past a half to decide on a marathon.
There's nothing to think about. Just do it.
All right, so she made it. Does that mean that she ran it already or she just made it? and what was the decision on
yeah,
the
we need an
marathon. Like, I
update.
feel like that wasn't enough detail there. We need some more.
Oh no, she
detail.
did it. It's on the next thing.
Oh shit! So immediately, then I didn't even notice
See?
that.
There you
She's
go.
literally the next person. I got a PR at my local half last weekend and ran my longest distance ever at 15.5 miles. Okay, so she did the 25K. So now,
Yeah.
did you decide on the marathon?
I feel like she
if you
definitely
did
decided.
that,
You've already
right?
decided.
Exactly.
You wouldn't do that if you hadn't decided.
I like
already.
these back to backs because like there's no suspense. It's like
Yeah.
You
I'm
get the
gonna try
answer.
this. Did it?
Oh gosh, Fitness by Cat. First ever full in December and PRing my second half next Sunday.
Yeah.
Yep, go get it.
We'll need an update.
Mhm.
Yep. We got Brooke said, we should all have the same goal. Prepare for the most important race. It's coming, and if you didn't sign up yet, what are you waiting for? Best 5K location too, wherever you want to run. The medallions are spot on also. But the real question is, are both hats still available?
Mostly.
Mhm. We gave
As
that
we
update a
discussed,
little bit
yes.
ago. So she's talking about our race, of course, because we did the medal reveal. Thanks, Brooke.
Thanks, Brooke.
And we've got Greg. The journey to Western States starts this year. I have my new mantra for Yeti 100. Finish line is
In Abingdon.
in what?
In Abingdon.
In Abingdon. No sleep until Abingdon.
All right, I'm gonna need you to put a little bit more stank on that. Like that's no
Oh,
sleep
sorry.
till Abingdon.
Okay.
Like
You-
Brooklyn,
you-
like no sleep till
Yeah.
Brooklyn.
Yeah, I knew what he was referencing.
Look.
I'm just not. I
Look.
don't.
Tell me all you know about the Beastie Boys right now.
Not enough for you, Tom.
They're Jewish.
That's true.
Go get it, Greg. And that's the end of our goal getters. You too could be a getter of goals.
Yeah.
If
It's true.
you are setting goals and your goal is to be a dog and bark at
He-
everything
he
that
was
goes by.
He was asleep, and there's a car outside bumping music.
Oh man.
He was asleep.
Oh.
All right. Well, anyway, if you would like to be a goal getter when we post, go ahead and let us know what you guys are up to. Whether you've made a goal that you are working towards and we can cheer you on, or you've accomplished something that you set for yourself, we'd love to hear about it. It doesn't have to even be race related either. Like
No.
we've talked about that. You could
Yep.
be nutrition related, weight related, water related, hydration bullies everywhere. Yeah, it can be anything. It could be like a work accomplishment. Anything you want to
Yeah,
share with us.
it's true.
Yeah. I actually do have a goal. I want to start running at least 3 days a week consistently again. Like 3-4 days a week.
That's been my goal for about 4 or 5 weeks now, and I think I've done it like once.
Like if I can get 1 day during the weekend and then 2 days during the week, I'll be happy. I'll be a little happier if I can get 4 runs in, but I'll stick with 3 because I've been getting 1 or 2. I did do the bike this morning, so hopefully I can get back to consistency. When it's nice out, I like to run. So
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's good. At
Yeah.
least now that it's going to be nice
Good
out.
weather.
Yeah.
All right.
Hmm.
So do we want to talk about some training updates?
yeah, I guess that kind of
Sure.
transitions pretty well. Like I said, have not been training as well as I should have. But I did go out the other day. I think I posted on Instagram that in the middle of the day it was about 80-ish degrees and humid as hell because we were about to get thunderstorms. And
Oh,
I went
yeah.
out and I did 3 miles and it was disgusting. And I just was thinking, oh, this is what it's going to be like in Disney. So I did a springtime surprise simulation. And yeah, not sure. Like I like running in the heat, but like my body's not quite there yet. because
Yeah,
I did not have my
yeah.
gradual increase into it.
That happened to me the other day. Yeah, when it was real warm.
Yep.
I was like, "Ooh,
Like,
it's like 85 degrees out."
I was not quite ready for this. So, but yeah, I have been doing my strength training every week, so that's been good. But other than that, yeah, I just have not been training for springtime like I should. I also want to, and I haven't signed up for this yet. I think I'm gonna do the Baltimore 10 miler. So I think once I do my 10 miles at springtime, if I can just maintain until June, which is, a month and a half, I should be able to do that and just,
Yeah.
Yeah.
maintain 6 or 8 miles every weekend. That's not too bad. And yeah, then I'll be ready.
Tom, how's your sauntering
saunter
go?
training
It's going to be
going.
tough. I mean,
Very boring.
the training's fine, I guess, but it's just.
But you're going to be with somebody, so it
yeah.
won't be as boring.
No,
that won't be.
no.
I just meant the training.
That
will
will
be
be
boring.
the
fine.
train, yeah.
I'm just
Okay.
like, I don't know, because like I'm not like overly sweaty when I'm done. I am tired, right? But like
How are your feet?
the feet are okay. They like ache a
Oh,
little
man.
bit. But like
We went for like a 5.7 mile walk yesterday, and I thought I was going to die afterwards. So,
like what would you train up to?
walking is like,
I think you just have to be consistent every day. You don't really need to.
yeah.
You know.
I feel like walking's more exhausting even though than running, because like it's not like you're out there for such a longer amount of time.
I would just worry about time more than anything else.
Just be out there for a long time, right?
a couple hours
Yeah.
each time
Yeah.
or whatever. Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
what did Donna say? She was just out there for 4 miles over the weekend, or 4 hours over the weekend.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
maybe this
I don't know that
weekend.
the mileage matters
Yeah.
as much there. You want time.
Yeah, I mean, how long do they say like predict kind of that it would take you?
You average
Like,
3
how long?
You average 3 miles an hour.
Okay.
So 10 hours
And you're-
or ish.
Yeah, you have about
11
12
hours.
hours to do it in,
Okay.
and it's like 32-ish miles, right? So,
Okay.
Yeah.
you know, it's not fast, but it is just long. It's just a kind of a grind.
Now,
did-
because you're fully walking, will you consider this an ultra?
I mean,
okay.
technically, this is an ultra distance, right? And
Yeah,
it's
I mean, I
a
feel
single.
I feel like
it's
you
a
could
single
call your-
event,
To
Yeah.
me, it's an ultra.
I feel like you
don't
could
see
call
why it's
yourself an
not.
ultra after this.
and I'll get a certificate.
Of
A
authenticity.
certificates.
I can't believe you're not doing this for a medal.
I can't
I
believe I'm not
know,
doing
I'm
this for a medal
stunned.
either. It's ridiculous.
For a certificate. Speaking of certificates, my friend Marcia got a certificate for jury duty, and then when you said certificate, it reminded me of her. And I just wanted to celebrate the fact that she listens to this episode on
Oh,
Monday
yeah.
every single
Yes.
week, because she wanted me to tell everyone in the world. It's probably not true. She was so proud of herself when we were talking about something and someone was like, "Oh, I haven't heard that yet." She's like, "Well, I listen every Monday as soon as it comes out."
Oh my God.
I said, "Marcia, I will make sure that I tell the world."
Yes.
Thank you for your support.
That is important.
So if you also listen to this episode first thing on Monday morning, you let me know and I will shout you out too.
There you go.
Well,
Thank you, all of our loyal listeners.
I know it
No,
doesn't.
I
I know it doesn't count, but I do.
would definitely count that as
Certificate.
I mean, that's an ultra distance.
I can't believe we're doing it for a certificate. That's so funny.
That is funny.
Are you going to frame your certificate?
I mean, it's funny because of how much you love medals.
Yeah.
That's true.
That's kind of the irony.
Will
of the
you
whole thing.
frame it?
I-
Make a little shadow box for it?
Sure. I don't know.
You could probably mix a little like light running into your training just to break it up so you don't like go stir crazy out there.
Yeah. If he said he was going out like on Sunday, although I felt kind of bad yesterday, I didn't feel well. I'd run 10 miles. I would not walk 10 miles. I walked
Yeah.
10 miles once last time I was training for Dopey, and it was the worst day of my life. I will never do it again. Like,
The worst day of my life.
it was up there. Top 5, maybe. It was awful.
We were like, we're going to go for a walk
Uh.
yesterday. We got to mile 1.92 And we're like, oh, how far are we going? Michael's like, well, let's just go make a left and go towards the park. And it'll probably be about the same because we were talking about like whether we're going to just do an out and back. And we're like, oh, yeah, that shouldn't be too far. And then we're at like mile 2.5. And I'm like, how long do you think it takes us to get back to this point on this street? He's like, I don't know, maybe like a mile. And I'm like, well, then it's another mile. So it's a little further than we thought. And then we get to like mile like 4.5. And I'm like, we're not even close to home. We're so far from home. So we went from like, let's go for like a little 2-mile out and back. It'll be like 4 miles to like a 5.7 mile walk.
Nope.
I was like, what?
You
What just
also
happened?
need like I don't know. I feel like when I'm walking, I need a stopping point. So I don't mind like our little loop that's 5 miles, but we do Starbucks. So it's like 2.5 miles up to Starbucks and then 2.5 miles back. Or
Which
a lot
is
of times
sort
when
of
we
like
do like
what
my
we
girls'
like to
walks.
do.
Yeah. You know.
Because our towns are so close to each other, we'll walk up to like grab like something at like, I don't know, one of the places up on Haddon Ave, and then we'll walk back and take our time.
Yeah. Well, this one we got Starbucks to start.
That's true.
Yeah.
We did.
Yeah. And then we just went with it for a bit.
And
finished it.
It's fine. We didn't mean for it to happen.
No, happens. So my training got cut short because I'm pretty sure I developed a shin splint in the final week of my Jersey Devil training.
Oh, no.
Well, your final high mileage week, right?
Yeah. So as I was about to head into a nice big weekend, that I think it was Wednesday or Thursday.
Yeah.
Tuesday I ran in shoes that I don't normally run in.
Probably
and
good.
then Wednesday
good idea.
I did. Yeah, it was a good idea. No, I mean I run in them just on the treadmill. I meant I don't run in them outside, I should say. But I'd done a bunch of 10-milers and.
But you were doing like 10 miles every single day.
Yeah.
For a while.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, like I went out Thursday and I got like. My legs were tired, obviously, but I got like 3 or 4 miles in, and I was like, "It's not warming up. It doesn't feel right." So I just stopped and walked home because it just didn't feel right. But it was definitely in that shin splint, inner shin area.
Yep.
And I was like, "Oh," I was like, "I gotta stop like now."
Yeah,
so,
stretch and rest. Like I guess that's all you can do, right?
I shut down for like 5 days and was going stir crazy.
The stretch part didn't happen.
Yeah,
there.
no, I don't stretch.
And I said to him like 6 times, I'm like, I feel like you should be like rehabbing it in some way. Like, you know, you could try ice, you could try stretching it, you could try looking up different things that you could do, remedies you could do for shin splints. And then nothing.
Yeah. Well, because Ryan had shin splints before Dopey. He got like diagnosed with them right before Bird in Hand. Or he was going to get his MRI or something like right around Bird in Hand. So I think he did that, felt like garbage, got it, and then had to kind of really adjust his training for Dopey. But it was mostly stretching. Like he got like a PT and had a bunch of stuff he had to do.
Yeah. Well, Michael doesn't do those kinds of things.
I didn't do that. No. I did rest. I tested it last week, Thursday and Friday, I think. I did like 2 miles one day. Then I did like 4 miles the next day. I got to mile 4 and I started to kind of feel it, but it was a hilly run. So I was like, all right, I'll just walk now. And I was fine. Yeah. And then on the weekend, I just walked. I didn't do any more running. So I'll probably get some runs in this week and then some runs next week, but all low mileage. I dropped way down further than I wanted to 3 weeks out, but I don't really have a choice. I got to be healthy.
Yeah, I wonder if you could do the bike. Like Ryan didn't like the bike; he just doesn't like how it makes his taint feel. But
I probably could have.
But he did the rower a lot. He liked the rower.
Yeah, my concern was like doing something on the bike because I've never done it before, and all of a sudden it's the last few weeks.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, I have some kind of weird pain show up because I started the bike.
Yep. I'm with you.
3 weeks before. So if it was like at the beginning, I would have, but since I was literally going into taper like 3 days later.
Oh God.
So.
Yeah, but to be fair to the taper, like you still would have been running like 20 to 30 miles for
Yeah.
the first week, and then 20 miles the next week,
Yeah.
and then nothing next week. But like, so now you've had to like really, really
drop back fast.
fast.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Like I had a good, and here's the thing about training that we like, I have this problem too, but iFit is pretty good because it collects all my data too, like the treadmill and Strava. So like Strava only gives you that
like the week to week.
the Strava week, where iFit will give you the last 7 days.
Yeah.
So I had a couple days in a row where my rolling 7 days were like 75 miles or 70 miles and like 3,000 feet of climbing. So
yeah, because he
yeah.
would look at a Strava week and
It
be
would
like,
just be like
oh, well, I've only done like
55 or
50. And I'm
60
like, but you
miles,
can't
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
because we've struggled with this in the past too, where we've said that like when you're training for this kind of mileage, like you have to be careful because depending on where you position your rest days, if you're not positioning your rest days properly, you'll end up with like 6 days in a row, and all of a
Yeah.
sudden you're like having run 70 miles because you're only looking at your Sunday through Monday
or whatever,
like whatever
yeah,
Monday
Sunday to
through
Saturday, yeah.
whatever Monday through Sunday, not your like Wednesday through Wednesday, and not realizing how many miles because you didn't take a rest day.
Yeah.
In between that.
I didn't understand any of that, but I support it all.
a rolling 7 days versus, because on Strava it just shows you like on Runkeeper or whatever, it'll show you
like even on Garmin when you go onto your week by week, it shows you Monday through Sunday is your week, so it'll show you your weekly mileage, but it doesn't show you your weekly mileage in
for
a rolling way.
Days,
so like if you're on a Wednesday, it shows you like the previous week was like say 30 miles, and then it shows you that at this week you're at like 20 miles already. So it doesn't take into account that you didn't have a rest day in between there.
I'm gonna be real. I've never looked at that. I don't care.
Yeah, I only looked at it
even when you build your training plan for like say Dopey.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You built your plan based off of a Monday through Sunday type plan. Like on Tuesdays you might do this.
I never think of it as a X number of mile week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not just how I look at it.
Yes. But a lot of people do.
Yeah.
So if you have all of your miles built into the end of the week because you're running Friday, Saturday, Sunday, back to back, especially in a Dopey plan, and then you only take Monday off, and then you have like 2 runs like Tuesday, Wednesday, those 5 days could ultimately be a lot more miles than you realize because you only took off, say, Monday.
Look,
so when you look at those 6 days,
I did what the paper told me to do.
That's it.
That's all. That's the amount of thought I put into it.
Well, part of this is because I don't use a training plan. So I need to kind of keep track myself because I don't use like a plan. So that's why this comes into play too.
I'm a trained monkey. Yeah. I don't want to think about it. I want to put it in the calendar.
That's probably the better option.
And I would make adjustments, but not enough where I think it was like altering a ton of stuff. Like I'd switch Saturday and Sunday or Tuesday and Thursday or, whatever it was. But this is why there's many reasons. This is why I'm not elite, and this is why I don't do ultras.
Dopey's basically an ultra.
Not putting in the work.
Yeah, I mean, Dopey's honestly has more in it in a training plan than an ultra plan does.
Yeah.
And then I just stopped.
Yeah.
That's what most people do, though.
Need a break, though.
I don't really feel like there's a ton of people who like continue on the path. So I don't feel like you're alone in that. We had somebody say something about
2 months.
After 2 months off. So it happens.
Do we have any more training updates?
Nope.
I don't know. What am I doing? I don't even know what I'm doing anymore.
You're doing random stuff, I feel like. I look on your Insta stuff. I'm like, she's doing something different like every day.
It's just like still riding the bike a lot. I rode 34 miles. I'm still hoping this all translates to like run miles somehow. my goal was really to get off of the bike and onto the road, but I just haven't been able to like mentally do it. I don't know what is wrong. I don't know what's holding me back at this point. I don't even think it's like fear. I just think it's laziness.
Yeah,
Like,
I know. Like
the
this
Peloton's
morning,
like
because it's right there.
it's like there, and like I was like I could on Sunday. I was like I could, or Saturday, whatever day I did the really long. I was like I could go for a run and even be probably about the same amount of time. Like it's still 2 hours of running or riding because
No.
it's a 10. If I'm doing a 10-miler, it's still about the same amount of time either way. But I'm like I could get out. It was kind of cold, much colder because the week was beautiful. And then Saturday and Sunday were colder. And
Yep.
I was like, oh, it's only 40 degrees and there's wind right now. I could just get on this bike and
Yep.
just bike for 2 hours. Cause I had said to Michael, like, I'm going to ride from like maybe 20 minutes to loosen my legs. And then I'm going to go outside and run. And then I was like, nope, not going to go do that. I'm just going to stay on this bike and ride for 2 hours.
Yep.
So I don't know. I really don't think it's like fear at this point. I think it's just, I'm hoping as it gets nicer, I can get myself back out there. But I feel like I'm still keeping up my endurance. I mean, we'll see how this 10-miler goes. I had, and we'll get into this in about 2 more seconds if no one's got anything else. I was supposed to run a 9.3 mile race last weekend. So that didn't happen. So that was supposed to be kind of like my last run before springtime. And that didn't happen. So I don't know. I got that 110-miler in. So I didn't die.
You're
I'll be
fine.
fine.
You're fine.
You're more trained than me.
I'll
You're
be fine.
fine. Plus, it's Disney magic. When this album drops, you'll look back and be like, "Man, that was awesome."
Yeah, I think it's more that there's 3 of them in a row because we're doing the challenge again. So, God, why do I keep doing this to myself?
Says every Disney runner all the time.
So yeah, I don't know. Diana, did you have any last minute training updates?
No, I just wanted
Other
to
than
hear
not
about
doing it?
how you hid from.
Yeah. So as I just started saying, I had signed up secretly for the hot chocolate 15K. Yeah, I kept everyone knows I've kind of kept my training schedule or my race schedule kind of close to the vest so that I could drop out of races if I didn't feel like doing them without anyone judging me. So I signed up for the hot chocolate 15K. Amy, Miles and Crowns, she had messaged me after I said that there's no good 10Ks in our area. She messaged me and she's like, oh, hot chocolate has a 10K and I'm doing the 15K. I was like, oh, cool. Maybe I'll sign up for the 10K. And then I messaged my friend Emily and was like, hey, want to do the 10K? She's like, no, if I'm going to do the race, I'm going to do the 15K. So then suddenly, instead of getting my nice little 10K in, I was signing up for the 15K because I'm a sucker.
That's how it goes. It's the peer pressure. Like over the weekend, everyone was talking about the 10-miler, the Baltimore 10-miler. And people started talking about the relay. And I'm like, no one's going to do the relay. Everyone's going to get talked into doing the full 10 miles.
Yeah. So I ended up signing up for the 15K. The week of the race, we saw that the weather just kept getting worse and worse and worse looking. And there was like thunderstorms and potentials for tornadoes that day. And like, the weather out west was really bad. And like Chicago was having all kinds of tornado warnings at that point. And I'm like, God, this race is going to get canceled now because there's no way. Because now they're talking about thunderstorms. We're like, maybe they'll just cancel it. And
I'm shocked they didn't cancel it.
They didn't. So I kept waiting for Emily to be like, hey, maybe we shouldn't do it. Or like Amy to be like, hey, I don't think I'm showing up. But everyone was super, I mean, runners are weird, man.
That's because you weren't running with me, who would have been in their bed.
Runners are weird. Like no one even was like flinching at it. And I was like, all right, I guess we're doing this. So we were supposed to take the train in to Philly, and then we were like, we need the car just in case it's like pouring. I'm not walking through the city in the pouring rain. And we got to the parking lot. We started walking. It wasn't raining yet. And then we see this big flash of light, and there's a girl next to us, and all three of us just look at each other. And then we're like, was that what we think it was? And then all of a sudden you just hear this really loud boom of thunder. And we're like, oh, fudge.
F-bomb.
Exactly.
Fudge.
Fudge. And as we are saying this, like we see them still letting a group from the 5K out. And we're like, well, that's weird. And immediately after that, they shut down the 5K from starting. We were kind of mulling around. It started torrentially pouring on us. We were like,
for this event, the 5K goes before the other one?
Yeah, the 5K starts at 7 a.m. and the 10K and 15K start at 8 a.m.
Oh, weird.
So they usually have everyone off of the 5K course pretty much by the time they start the other races. What happened? Oh, it started pouring. I found my friend Amy. We took some pictures. It starts pouring again. We're like underneath tents. We're talking to these people who were talking about Run Disney. So we started talking to them. We're like, oh, Disney people. We started talking about Run Disney with them. And then we're under the tent where there was like a little DJ guy with a microphone. So, because we said, well, how are we can't hear the announcements. And they're like, oh, don't worry. The DJ will make an announcement as soon as they make an announcement. So we can hear announcements going off at the corral. And then he makes the announcement that now they're only going to have one race because the 5Kers got pulled off the course when it started lightning. And everyone is just going to start at 8 a.m. and there's only going to be one race and it's all going to be the 5K.
Mm.
So if you were starting, that was your opportunity. It had kind of like stopped raining a little bit. We all went to the porta potty. We came back. Amy was using it as a tune-up run for her to see kind of where she was for a PR that she's chasing in Pittsburgh. And we were all like, well, I guess that's not happening. Emily was using it as a long run for a half marathon training. So we were all kind of using it as a training run. And then we were like, I guess we're just going to run this together. So we ended up running together.
Oh, that's fun.
It was pouring in the corrals. I started dancing. There's video of me dancing.
And the rest of the day was beautiful.
And then
beautiful.
Gorgeous. Yeah.
We started running. It stopped raining about a mile in. So we had pretty much the 2 miles without rain. It was nice because at least it had stopped raining enough that we could get our treats. Because if you've never run a hot chocolate race, at the end of the race, you get a container that has chocolate fondue in it. And then they give you like sugar cookies, and they give you a chocolate chip cookie, and they give you a banana, and they give you a Rice Krispie treat, and they give you pretzels and marshmallow and all kinds of stuff to dip into your chocolate fondue. And then in the center is a cup of hot chocolate. So it is like treats wise,
that's amazing.
People love the Run Disney box, but this is like 10 times better.
Look, the Run Disney box has jumped the shark. Like it's trash now.
That's true.
Did they add hummus or something?
No, they did that one year.
No, and they've taken away the Oreos. The whole thing is trash now. Just throw it in the trash.
So this was amazing. And so we got our things, we took our quick pictures, and then we all walked back to the car because we were afraid it was going to start pouring because it was getting darker, and you could see that on the radar it was coming back towards us. And we're like, okay, so at least there was a reason why they canceled the 15K because we would have still been out there. We got back to the car, and as soon as we got in the car, it started pouring again. So all of our chocolate remained safe. And then we sat in our car and ate the chocolate for, I don't know, a few minutes.
Huh.
And then the sun came out, and it was gorgeous. It was like 80 degrees and sunny and beautiful. And Amy's an overachiever, so she finished her race at home. And
Oh.
I sat on the couch and slept with my cats. And then the next day we went for our hike, and it was much colder that day.
Yeah. How'd it feel to be back out there?
It was fun to like be part of an actual race.
Yeah.
I mean, it would have been better, obviously, if it didn't involve all the rain and the logistics of that. But yeah, it was actually really nice to be like part of a race atmosphere. I mean, I was during Run Disney, but Run Disney is so different
Yeah.
than like any other race experience. They can't really compare them. So like even going into this weekend, it's still just different. So I'm excited for whatever's next on my calendar.
Well, we had a race this past weekend.
Is
Did.
this
It was-
one? Is this the one Diana says is her favorite race?
This is one of my favorites. Here's the thing. The last couple of years, they've moved it. So instead of starting in Locust Point in Baltimore, it starts in Fells. And I have not liked it as much since they've done that because they kind of changed the course. And this year they changed the course again. And it's slipping down the line for me. It like used to be my all-time favorite 10K. And then this year we had such bad weather for it. Like I felt like the race had bad juju or something. Like it just wasn't right this year. Like something all day kind of felt off. I think part of the problem was they moved opening day because of thunderstorms, and then it was beautiful all day. And they didn't need to move the game. So then we ended up drinking all day on Friday.
Whoops.
And staying out way later than I wanted to.
Again, that's my fault.
I'm gonna put that on Tom. And then so then we had to get up early. And it was so cold and just windy. And where it is between the buildings, it just was a wind tunnel. It was frigid before the race started. And yeah, and then it like wasn't that warm afterwards. Like the beer, like they don't have enough people on the beer lines anymore, so you don't even wait to get a beer afterwards. So it's not one of my favorites anymore. I'll see what they do next year. I mean, I'll continue to do it probably because I do B3 every year. But yeah, it was a little sad this year. And in the course, it's just not as good. It's kind of the same ish course, but it goes in kind of a different order, so it's not as good, and then it ends in a huge uphill. Yeah, I ran most of it with Chris because him and I both had to pee at mile 2 and waited in line for 2 porta potties where people had no urgency coming in and out of. So
Nice.
the mile we stopped to pee was almost a 19-minute mile.
Oh,
But
my
I had to
gosh.
stop. I had to. You know, like when you're during a race, you're like, if I do not stop now, it's going to be a problem. Like I had to stop.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But
Did you have a good race, Tom?
Yeah.
It was fine. I was running with Lisa, and no shade to Lisa, but the last time we did this, she like fell.
Oh, no.
When I was like right next to me, and so I had trauma. So I was watching Lisa's feet most of the running, but I would say we had a fine race. It wasn't like for me, it wasn't terrible pace wise, and I didn't mind the course. I can see what Diana's saying about how it has been better, but it was fine. Like I'll take it because my actual running races are few and far between right now because I'm not registered for much. So I'll take it.
Yeah. And Nicole and Ryan were there, and they stayed with us for most of the run. And then we all went to Barcachina afterwards in Fells and had breakfast tacos and margaritas.
Yep.
So
I love Fells Point. That's was always one of my favorite like little areas to like frequent.
Yep.
I don't know. I haven't been to Baltimore in so long though that who knows what it's like.
They do have Fells is always fantastic. They just did it and kind of, I don't know. I just liked it better when it was in Locust Point because it kind of blocked off the street and I don't know, it just had a different vibe. And again, weather I think with me has a huge factor, and this used to be like the first warm race of the year, and it wasn't always cold. And I think it was cold like this year and last
The
year.
weather's just been so wonky.
It's been
like,
so
I feel
weird.
like the weekends have been terrible.
They've been
and then in the
awful.
middle of the week, it's like 80 degrees. Can we just get like some
A
nice
nice weekend?
weekends?
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
understand.
So I think that has a lot to do with it. They do have awesome snacks. Like this is like one of the races where they have really good stuff afterwards. So they had fruit cups with oranges, chips. What else did they have?
They had cookies.
Cookies.
They had
Chex Mix.
They had cans of Coke, Diet Coke, and Sprite.
Yep, which is amazing. Like nothing is better than a Coke after a race. But yeah, they had all kinds of stuff to eat afterwards, which is fantastic. So that was really good. The medal was really good this year. It's a lot bigger than it has been in past years.
Mhm.
So the medal looked great. Just the weather was crappy. And I didn't feel great because we drank all day the day before.
Yeah,
so
that was a rough one.
I feel like that's the key right there, right? That's like, you
yeah.
know.
So I was not in the
Um,
right headspace. I immediately got there and wanted
Would
to
you
go
still
home.
recommend this race to other people? I guess we don't really, when I think about like other podcasts when they do their race recaps and their like order in which they do things, we're never really good at the like, I'd recommend this or I wouldn't recommend this or like, would you?
I would recommend this if you want to run Baltimore and you don't want to do like the Baltimore Running Festival. I think it's a better course than the Baltimore Running Festival 10K. I do not like that course at all. This is much better than that. It's a little hilly. Little hilly. But
What's a
you go
little
through
hilly?
the
Define a little hilly, because we had this conversation because the Philly hot chocolate race and the Love Run, because they're basically the same course with 3 miles cut out.
those are pretty
going
flat
towards
to me.
Independence Hall. They had like in 9 miles, it was like 400 feet. Like, what do we consider hilly?
I don't know. There's that big ass hill going up to Patterson Park.
Yeah, there are some
Like,
long
what's the elevation?
climbs.
Do we know what the elevation profile is?
Look, Aaron.
I'm just curious.
Who do you think we are?
I don't
Hold,
know.
please. I think we actually
Hold on.
look at
I'm going to try
I
to.
was just curious because I had this conversation and then Michael and I were having this conversation because I feel like what Michael considers hilly these days is very different than like what I would consider hilly.
All right, so 200 feet.
That's probably right.
I have 245 feet.
I would say there's not a ton of hills, but the ones that are there are long and obnoxious,
Yeah.
and you want to die.
But again, I think it's better. I hate the 10K Baltimore Running Festival course. This is much better than that. And good swag. It's typically a good time of year. You go through all the cute parts of Baltimore. You're right by the bread bakery in Baltimore, so it smells really nice. It smells like bread in the morning.
The bread sounds delightful.
The bread smells pushes it over the edge, I think.
Nice.
And there's lots of great spots to go to for breakfast afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I still like this race. I just am tied to the way it once was.
Yeah, I get that.
And it's just, I don't know. I just liked that course a little bit better.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I know that they say that. So the last time I did hot chocolate, I actually didn't realize how long it had been. Hot chocolate was my first introduction. It was a training run for my first half marathon. 2015 was the first time I ever did it. And back then you used to get a mug that you got to keep. And I didn't realize
nice.
Hot Chocolate got rid of those because I have it at work. It's actually like the center where you put the hot chocolate cup is like where I keep my pens. And then like the little cubby that has the like fondue is where my paper clips are.
Oh,
and then
cute.
like all of my other stuff are kind of around it. And I use it as like a cup holder. But they got rid of them and now they're just like disposable ones. So I had told Emily that she was going to get a mug, and then she didn't get a mug.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
I
So
also
felt bad.
that's actually a good reminder. So the other thing about Soul of the City, which is also I think rubbing me the wrong way a little bit, is they used to have my favorite race premiums. They either had like a hoodie or
Oh
a
yeah,
half
didn't you
zip.
just say that they were like also Under Armour?
Yeah, and they're still all Under Armour, but like they used to be really nice, and they're some of my favorite race premiums I've had in the past. In the last like 2 or 3 years, they've done just like a long sleeve, but because the long sleeve is just like a meh. I mean, it's still Under Armour, but it's like a meh long sleeve
Yeah.
that they've tried to like sweeten the deal. Like last year's, and I forget what happened with last year's, but last year's the women's was so much worse than the men's that they ended up giving these like these bags, these Under Armour. I don't know what they're called. Like there's those string bags,
Oh,
yeah,
Do you know what I'm
like
talking about?
cinch bags.
the cinch
Yep.
bags. But I mean, it's
Yeah,
a
yeah.
nice quality one. It's better than like the ones you get at Shamrock, which you can throw
Yeah.
in the trash. Like
Oh yeah,
it's like
yeah.
a really nice Under Armour one. And they gave those out again this year. I don't know if Under Armour just printed a crap ton of them and
Hmm.
then tried to
Yeah.
sell them for $30, and they're obviously not worth $30, so none of them sold. If that happened, but they gave these long sleeves in a bag, and they used to be like the best premium. So it was like a great race, and the weather was usually nice. And even if it was cold in the morning, it's a later start. It always starts at 8:30 or 9. So it was all nice
that's
by the
nice.
time it ended, and great premium and great weather. And you started right by this firehouse, and there's like a huge American flag, and it was just like, I don't know, it was so much better. And I hate to be because
you're
like
being a millennial right now.
I am, and it used to like what once
the nostalgia,
was the nostalgia of-
is
the
strong in
nostalgias
this
of-
millennial.
of what, and I did, I think my first one in like 2015 is I think
Oh,
when I did my
God.
first Soul of the City. So
Yeah.
you know, it's 8 years of doing it, so it's not that long of when it was it's just like the last couple of years. I don't know what is going on.
Well, COVID
I-
happened, and now everything is different.
Also,
I'll
Truck
say
City-
that, like, for
yeah.
real. Like, I think that ever since races came back, there's a lot of like cost cutting that happens to like try and make up for the amount of money that they lost during those like couple years.
And I don't want to put them on blast, but Charm City Run has partnered with a brewery that is not my favorite brewery as well. So instead of having even just like Mick Ultra or whatever
Mhm.
after the race, they have this brewery, which a lot of people love. And a lot of people get really into it and are excited to have this at the end of the race. I am not.
Gotcha.
So, like, I just think, I don't know. I just would rather have something else.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree with everything she said.
Tom didn't even, because you can't, there's an option to do it without the premium, and Tom signed up without the premium option this year.
Whoa.
There was a
No
medal.
premium.
It's not like there was a certificate.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Certificate's more special.
It is.
But yeah.
It's rarer.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
How many races have you gotten a certificate for? Probably none.
Yeah, I mean, like, you get an email that literally says,
I don't read any of those.
"Congratulations for completing your Run Disney weekend. Download your certificate here."
Why would I read the email after I was done the race?
Look.
Have you seen my inbox?
No. I bet you if I saw your inbox, it would give me such anxiety.
I actually just declared bankruptcy a while ago, but now I'm at
You have to lower it.
What's
What
that
is
Oh,
say?
that?
wait.
Hold on.
8,000?
5,000.
5,000?
It was at 40,000.
My God.
How many Yankee candles have you bought
I mean, to be
online?
fair to him, but mine gets up to like 8,000 sometimes, and then I like, because my one inbox gets, it's just like all junk mail. Like, who
Yeah.
wants to go through like 700 emails from every run store that I've ever signed up for?
I have 0 unread emails in my Gmail.
Same.
I mean,
Same.
I don't even know how many accounts that is.
Yikes.
Man.
Yeah.
Do we want to wrap up with something good?
Yeah, because
Sure.
I just
'Cause it
shit all
can't-
over somebody.
Because so it's not certificates and it's not Michael's inbox. I'll go first. So this is coming out on a Monday, and while you're listening to this, our fine listeners, Diana and Aaron are still in Disney, and I will have at some point this past weekend ordered way too much sushi off of DoorDash.
Tom like shame DoorDashers while I'm out of town.
I do.
Oh,
I do.
man.
He got McDonald's last time, and it was over $30.
So my
Wow.
my something good is the shameful amount of DoorDash sushi that I'm going to get before this recording comes out. I
Oh my
cannot wait.
God.
I'm so excited.
You're so excited. Let's see. My something good is the new release from what's that? What are you downloading all my certificates?
No,
What is
I just went to
happening?
like
do.
like
She's going to
everything.
start a binder.
I like was curious. Rehoboth Seashore Marathon even has a finisher certificate.
Oh,
look
wow.
at
Look at
like,
that. That's very
look how
fancy.
pretty that is.
It's
What
nice.
are people
That's-
doing with
That's
these?
my PR race. So I was just curious whether I could get a certificate for it.
I will say they're probably easier to keep than medals.
Yes.
A binder of certificates is probably better than medals.
I have
And
a
it gives
binder.
my overall rank
Of
and my
bibs.
my overall
Bibs.
rank.
Yeah, I feel like you could do a bib certificate binder.
Would
Oh,
you run back into a burning house to get that binder?
Look, here's
No.
the thing.
Because I would grab those medals.
Sorry,
Here's the
guys.
thing.
I didn't mean to put us back on this. I was just curious because I was like, I wonder whether like other timing systems, like, you know, Rehoboth uses a different timing system. I wonder whether they do certificates. And
Guys,
they do.
It's 2023. Like, who has a printer in their home? Like,
Well,
where
this
they're
is the-
printing this
yeah,
stuff off.
this is true.
Also, do you know how old we are now? All right, here's another thing.
Oh God.
Gen
This is
Z does
exhausting.
not carry debit cards. You're old if you carry like a credit or a debit card. They only use their
Yeah.
phones to pay for things.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
never
And if
want to
you-
use a card.
And if you
I
have
don't-
a card,
That's ridiculous.
you're old.
Ridiculous.
Generally don't
Yeah.
carry
And
a
I
card
know
with
that
me.
because I'm one of them.
Well, the problem is Lowe's
I-
and Home Depot don't take Apple Pay,
Yeah.
and
There are a few places that don't, but like if I go into Trader Joe's or grocery
Oh, yeah,
shopping,
no, I
generally,
never-
or I
yeah.
walk across the street,
Yeah.
I don't even bring my wallet with me.
Yeah, I never bring my wallet.
I also
around
like how
town.
you said Trader Joe's or grocery shopping because we've all discussed.
Yes. And I like how you made that distinction because they are two separate things.
Yes. Yes.
Oh my gosh, it's true. It's
Full
true.
circle. We brought it all the way back to
It's the
6 months
circle of
ago.
life. Michael, what were you talking about? You're something
oh
good.
yeah,
I'm sorry.
the only good acting performance of Humphrey Bogart, Treasure of Sierra Madre.
You don't
It's
think he's
mine.
good in other things?
Not really, no. I mean, he was probably good in Casablanca. Other than that, he's not generally very good. He just plays Humphrey Bogart.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Al Pacino, who's mostly terrible in things.
Oh, yeah.
Man, forget about it.
Maltese Falcon.
Humphrey Bogart sucks.
No, he doesn't. I mean, he's fine.
He's fine. Yeah, he just plays Humphrey Bogart. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's not like
Which,
he's a
you
movie
know.
star, not an actor.
Which, yeah, I'll allow. I like him and stuff. Tom,
I'll allow it.
Tom didn't know Casablanca was about Nazis, and when
No
when
idea.
we saw it,
Aren't they like prominently in the movie?
Yeah,
I
like,
didn't know what
So,
I didn't know
we-
what Casablanca.
Tom.
Casablanca.
Okay. I'm sorry. Excuse me. So all other movies where he doesn't know the timeline, he's like always waiting for Nazis to appear.
yes,
except
I'm
for
not-
Casablanca.
I'm not
One
waiting
movie.
for Nazis. First of all, I don't
Anything
want them to show
historical.
up. I'm not pro-Nazi. Can we get off this just because I look like I stormed capitals? Can we stop this? I
think
just
it's
didn't
really
know what
hilarious
Casablanca was
that-
about.
that Diana talks about how like he's like, oh, what time period is this? Are the Nazis gonna appear?
Also, Scarlett O'Hara is trash. Like
Well, I mean, yeah.
Oh,
like
God.
she's kind of a trash person.
hot
Yeah.
take.
yes, hot take.
mean,
but
that's-
Well,
that's
I mean,
clear.
like,
yeah,
this whole thing is our hot.
So hot takes. So yeah, they did a showing of it in the summer, although they haven't brought it back since COVID. Movies on the side of the Visionary Art Museum in Baltimore, and they showed Casablanca one year, and we get halfway through the movie, and Tom looks at me and he's like, "I had no idea what this movie was about."
None.
Oh my God.
Not even a little bit.
Oh,
Wow.
man.
But Church of the Sierra Madre, that's like his big one. That you haven't seen that yet. That's
Yeah.
on the 100 greatest movies of
I
all
have not.
time.
We should see it.
It's really, I like it a lot. It subverts your expectations of what you would think would happen in a movie like that with the people that are in it and the time period it was made.
Well, in an equal level of just art and artist, I've entered my Kevin Jonas era,
God
and
help us all.
Which one's he?
and I felt like he never got enough credit. I was always a Nick Jonas girl, but the Kevin Jonas vibes that he's been putting out lately have just been exquisite. They have a new album, and there
Exquisite.
is just fabulous Kevin Jonas content, and he is, I don't know, I'm entering my Kevin Jonas era.
God.
I think I'm gonna save the one that I actually wrote there, which actually we need to change that so I don't forget that I did. I'm gonna change my something good to the new season of Ted Lasso.
Yay.
Because I know we were just kind of talking about it. We've just all been watching it, and we picked like a show or two that we're gonna actually follow the weekly episodes versus, waiting for them to come out. And Ted Lasso is like one of them. I think it's just because every week I just want a good little heartfelt laugh.
Yeah.
Because it's like a little bit of combination of like, the feel goods and also like the ridiculousness of Roy and Jamie and like the whole, like, you just can't not laugh at like what happens in it. Like the shower scene between Trent and
yes
and Roy, like it just the whole like they're just so good at what they do.
It's so well written. It's so
and
great.
It's just like it has its like moments of heartfeltness as well, and I just love like everything about it, and I enjoy making sure we watch that one once a week. So that's my something good.
It is hard to watch it once a week because you get to the end of the episode and you just want another one.
I know, and they're so short that like you're like, oh, I just want another one.
Yeah.
So
good.
That's my something good for this week.
Yeah, and if you haven't watched it and started watching it, I recommend it to anyone who will listen. Like,
yes,
it's so great. It's so good.
I still think it's hilarious that Michael loves that show so much but hates the title character.
He's better this year than in the past, I will say.
Well, I guess that brings us to the end. Thank you, everyone, for listening. We really appreciate it. As of right now, maybe not when you're hearing this, but right now, we're up to 96 registrants.
Ooh, so someone signed up in the last hour and a half we've been recording this.
My coworker Dean.
Oh, nice.
What kind of hat did he get?
Probably a trucker hat.
Well, that's good.
I'm
that
assuming.
Helps us. That'll help us.
I can tell you in 1 second because when I pull up,
we're gonna out him.
Yep, he got a trucker hat.
Awesome.
There you go. Okay.
Still 18 left. 18 running hats, 19 spots.
Yep.
There you go.
Okay, so this is Tom, and I'm going to leave you with a quote because I asked for people to DM me quotes, and this one comes from our friend Christine. You might know her as Runcation Dreaming on Instagram. Christine, this quote it goes, "Don't ask what the world needs, but ask what makes you come alive, because that is what the world needs. People who have come alive." By Howard Thurman.
Oh,
there you
I like
go.
that one.
That's a good one.
Yeah. If you would like to close out a show with a quote, just DM me and we will pick some and read them. But this is Tom for Aaron, Michael, and Diana. And we will talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Don't forget to print out your race certificates. Put them in your binder.
I'm going to totally make a binder now just for Diana. I'm going to go literally on
Print
her
all
Athlinks.
hers.
I'm going to go on her Athlinks and I'm going to
Print
print
all
every
her
single certificate
die.
Diana's ever run.
Who has a printer?
Who wants to do this
That's
project
the
with
thing.
me?
Who has a printer?
I do. It's right there. But I
Yeah, for
also work from
Yeah.
home.
Yeah,
so
that's work from home.
I work from home, and I literally gave my printer to Goodwill like 3 years ago.
yeah,
Yeah,
no,
and then
I-
she